When I was 1 year old, I had been diagnosed with profound hearing loss. Over the years, my parents had struggled to try to find out how they can find a way to provide a life that I can hear my parents and my siblings. When I was 3 years old, I was given the ability and the opportunity to get a cochlear implant, which is the implant that helps me give me the ability to hear in an electronic way. In high school, I had been always the student that sits in the front seat trying to hear the teacher what they say and take as many notes as possible, especially because I was struggled to hear what the teacher said. Because the teacher would always turn their back against me and write on the board and would make it even harder for me to even hear what the teacher said. That was the ultimate struggle for me, and I never had the greatest grades as I would have liked. At least they were passing grades. So one day, a student asked and said, "Why do you always sit in the front seat? You're always like the student teacher's aide and always trying to do everything what the teacher wants. You're just trying to get an A, aren't you?" I came home that day and I cried. I cried and cried and cried, and I wished that I thought to myself, why doesn't that student know what's going on with me? I struggle every day. I don't have the best self-confidence, and I don't ever know what the teacher's saying, especially when my grades aren't the best. I even get A's. So I prayed and prayed and prayed and asked to the Lord and asked, what do I do? What can I do to not show myself and have other students view me this way? I'm a good student, but I don't try to show people off. So the next day I decided I'd just tell him what was going on and why I did it. So the next day I told the student and I said, I'm deaf. Do you know why that's the reason why I go sit in the front row every day? And he looked at me and in shock. He didn't even know that I was deaf. All those years, he had been my classmate and didn't even know that I had been deaf all these years. He came to me and said, I am so sorry. I didn't know. I assumed. I will never do that again. The story to make a point is, don't judge others before knowing their backstory. It's never wrong to ask them and say, well, why do you do this or that? There's nothing wrong because they'll have a valid reason instead of the thought of what you want them to do and what you think they are doing. It's always better to get the story instead of judging one another.